Hi everybody, this is Alchemist2, and I'm back again with another movie review. I just recently watched the last of the Night at the Museum movies, and it's called Night at the Museum, Secret of the Tomb. And honestly, when I had seen the commercial for the movie itself, I was a little bit dubious because I loved the first Night at the Museum. The first Night at the Museum is my absolute favorite of all the films. Then I saw Battle for the Smithsonian, and I absolutely hated it, even though I've been to the Smithsonian twice, and it just really didn't hold up to my expectations at all, so I was a little bit leery about the third. The third actually took all of my second thoughts and trepidations away. It was absolutely incredible. It was tremendous. The special effects were excellent. Seeing Robin Williams again for the last time was a little bit of an emotional experience for me, and not only that, but Mickey Rooney was in it, and he was just a cameo. But they dedicated the film to Mickey as well as Robin at the very end near the credits, which I thought was very admirable, and actually very conscientious of them and thoughtful and just the right thing to do. Movie itself, it explains the tablet of Aden-Ra and how it gets its power, and it's just really mystical and fantastic, and I love the whole fantasy element of this, and just all history gathering together, and I'm a big history buff, so seeing all these historical creatures and figures together is, I should say mythological creatures and historical icons together is absolutely sensational. Owen Wilson, he did a outstanding job, and you could tell that the actors and actresses had a blast doing this film. I almost cried near the end. I'm not going to say why, but there is a little stint in London. I'm not going to explain that either, because if I do, huge spoiler alert, so I won't do that. But if you're feeling a little bit iffy about seeing Night in the Museum, Secret of the Tomb, go ahead. I mean, you will be pleasantly surprised, I think. And the humor is excellent, and it ends on a happy note, and I don't think they're going to make a third one, even though they kind of left it open for, a fourth one, even though they left it open for a fourth one at the very end. I highly doubt it, since Robin Williams is no longer around, and it would be disrespectful, I think, if they did so, and leaving it on this happy note is very uplifting, and just really a great movie, and has a lot of morals and values that you could take home with you. Of course, we meet a new character. We meet Sir Lancelot in the process, and there's some funny interactions with him. Hugh Jackman makes a cameo, which I thought was really awesome. Ben Kingsley, he plays the Pharaoh. Of course, Ricky Gervais is in it again, and he was in the second one, but he's actually a lot funnier in this one, I think. He knows how to play an amusing character, and he realizes that this is how I should deliver my line, and my line will come across as more humorous this time. It's all about timing, and comedy, that's the most important thing, and the timing is perfect in this movie. They did such a great job, and there were times when I was reading the background placards, and I thought, yeah, I know that, and I know that too. I thought, it's sad when you go into a museum and you know more than the curator does, which actually never happened to me, but I actually, yeah, it did. I went into the Museum of Art in Indianapolis, and I did know more than the curator there, and I thought, I only have a very limited exposure to art and the different styles and periods and artists, and I really shouldn't know more than you, as you went to school for this and you have a degree and probably a PhD, and I don't. I just have a BA, a minor, and an associate's, and a couple of certificates, so why do I know more than you? That was bizarre. That was probably the most unusual thing I'd ever encountered in my entire life, and hopefully I'll never encounter it again. But I had the same thing happen to me when I went spelunking, so I thought, yeah, this is not going well for me. But anyway, if you liked the first movie and you want to see how everything comes to an end and how the tablet itself is discovered, it makes more sense seeing it this way, and how it fleshes everything out and tells the story from the very beginning, how it all came to be, how the tablet got into Brooklyn. And yeah, I just think it's a really good way to finalize everything. And plus, I just absolutely adore the characters. And we also meet another character when Larry goes to London and he meets the security guard there, or the night guard. Her name's Tilly, and Tilly, she played in Pitch Perfect. And I haven't seen Pitch Perfect yet, but I'm meaning to, and sorry it's taking me so long, but I will eventually. But I've got a lot on my plate right now. I'm still looking for work, and I put in an application every day for different jobs, and we'll see what happens. But as far as this movie is concerned, Night of the Museum, Secret of the Tomb, it's not a perfect film, but as far as films go, I would give it 3.5 out of 5. It's solid. It's a good movie. It's a great family movie. It's uplifting. It's funny. It's entertaining, and there really aren't any lulls in it. It's not the kind of movie that would bore you or make you wonder why you spent money to see it. No, it's a good movie. It's very well done, and I have to give Mr. Levy kudos, because he did such a good job on it. I don't know what else to say, honestly. I was more pleasantly surprised than anything by this movie, and it was just like visiting someplace familiar and then coming away from that feeling happy and content, I should say. And there was a very profound statement that, I don't know if it was Octavius or... No, I think it was Octavius that said it. It was either Jedediah or Octavius that said they knew it was going to happen, and they said, this is the part where... I'm not going to say anything that would give away a plot point, but this was the closest that they were going to feel to being alive once again. And having people learn something and come away feeling more enlightened and more knowledgeable about a subject or period of time in history, that in itself was existing, not existing, but living to them. And in that way, they continue to be alive in the minds of the museum attendees, the people, the curators, everybody. And I thought, yeah, that's true. History in itself, it's not really dead. It's living and active, and it continues, and sometimes it repeats itself, but I loved it. It was really a great movie, and there were moments that were very emotional and sad, but still solid film and excellent family fare. It might be considered a little bit scary for little ones, but nothing too terribly perilous or rattling, I don't think, compared to some of the cartoons out there, I mean, yeah, if you've seen How to Train Your Dragon 2, for a little kid, that would freak me out, honestly. But this one, it doesn't have anything really subjective or provocative that I think that there are a lot of innuendos in it. It's very subtle innuendo, and it's nothing bad, really. I don't think it's all innocuous and innocent, and it's just a really sensational family film. And Ben Stiller, he's he's incredible, and I love him, and all the characters just do a marvelous job, I think. But I'm being biased because I like the whole group, and Dick Van Dyke, and he's a cameo, and through him you realize what the tablet is all about and why it's important, and how he was integral to the whole happening of why the museum is the way it is. Let me just put it that way. I don't want to give too much away, because if I do, it'll ruin it, but it's really just a great movie, and so much fun to watch, and just enjoyable, I think, and very, very tremendous, and I highly recommend it if you haven't seen it yet.